Hi, welcome in. If you are here, you're stepping into your highest timeline, and I'm here to help you navigate that journey. This YouTube channel is actually me stepping into my highest timeline, and I felt called to share these channels, downloads, messages with you. If you could like, share, and subscribe to this channel, that would help me greatly as a new channel and also help you claim this energy and being part of this collective that I'm meant to show up for. All right, I'm just going to tap in, get a channeled message, and then I'm going to pull some cards and we'll go wherever the energy takes us. Tapping in now, Spirit, to the collective's energy. Bring this message to anyone who needs to hear it in this moment, those stepping into their highest timeline. Bring through messages for their highest good. Remove me from this message and bring through messages that are clear for them and make them feel like, yes, this is for me, that resonates. What message does the collective need to hear in this moment, Spirit? I'm getting hopscotch, like a kid playing hopscotch. They're having fun. They have other friends that are doing like jump rope next to them. Very happy, childlike scene. Just neighborhood happiness. Kids, being able to be free to be kids. A big feeling of safety here. The parents feel safe letting their kids out by themselves to play in the neighborhood. The neighbors, the community, I'm seeing like people driving by and going really slow to make sure to they're aware of the kids, waving to the parents, waving to the kids, caring about the kids, maybe stopping even and saying, hey, Susie, how are you? How is school? Are you moving up to a different grade? Like there's that real community feel here. Safety, connectedness. This is what we all crave. The message I'm getting is neighbors that honestly care about you. A lot of us nowadays, especially in the US, we're all so in our bubble doing our own thing that we've lost sense of this small town community where people do know each other. And this isn't like that Southern, like everybody knows everybody and keeps secret and gossips. This is like, we know when somebody on the block has lost someone and we bring them food. We know when a mom has started a new job and needs extra help with her kid. So we are like, hey, they can come stay with me and my kid for an hour after school every day. There's just like, we know what people have going on and we step up to serve. We step up to be a community member. We care. We know our neighbors and we will fight for this community. And that gives the people of this community this great sense of belonging, this great sense of safety. Like, I'm not supposed to be in this on my own. I'm supposed to have people around me that understand my circumstance and can pitch in. Like, it just feels so held when there's a whole community that knows you and knows your heart, knows your family, and there's a reciprocity there. A real feeling of belonging and a feeling of, I don't need to do this all on my own. Yeah. So beautiful, right? Do you have that sense of community? Are you lacking that sense of community? Do you know your neighbors? Do you feel like you have people you can rely on? And, you know, is that community possible for you? So let's get some cards. I'm getting Lightseer's Tarot deck. Woo, I know. I am blessed to have lived in good communities pretty much all my life. Even living in different states or whatever, kind of the small towny type feel where people like wave. That's like, I feel like the indicator for one of those communities is like, does everybody wave to everybody else? But I have felt almost like, I've also felt like the person that wants to keep my head down and keep to myself and doesn't want to bother people with what I have going on. And so I think that we're headed away from this very masculine. I know that I've had to heal a lot of toxic masculine traits within myself. And I think that a lot of this, I have to do it all myself, or I am in this on my own. Those are things that I have put on myself, and they've blocked me off from people that can help, people that want to care. And maybe that comes from beliefs that like, well, nobody cares about me, or why should they have to care? It's not their responsibility. Okay. They don't have to care. It's not their responsibility. We're not asking them to raise your kids for you. We're not asking them to cook you meals every night. We can love each other. We can know what's going on in each other's life, and we can receive help, and we can give help. I know we all want to be good neighbors, right? So I'm really like hearing this is New Earth. New Earth is getting back to the sense of community, getting back to, you know, seeing an injustice happen to somebody and your whole community comes to fight for you, that you're just not alone. You're not alone on this journey called life. What more do we have for this collective spirit? Give us some more clarity on this message. What does the collective need to know? All right. Let me just take a look at these. So I get the High Priestess and this Two of Cups. So this I really see as you grow closer to yourself, as you grow closer to spirit. And when I say yourself, I mean your highest self, your soul. As you grow closer in alignment by tapping in and your meditation and knowing, remembering who you were as a soul, as you get closer to that, you get more sense of union with others. And I know that this can be this can not feel that way, because a lot of times when we're on our journey, when we are tapping in, it feels like we're the only one on that spiritual journey, right? But you create this amazing union with yourself, and this union with others, and this union in a community starts with union within itself. I say this all the time, but like, you know, I'm not one that is involved in the political scene. I have not voted recently. And you could say, oh, she's spiritually bypassing and she's not watching the news and I don't worry about that stuff. I can't worry about that stuff because I truly believe that the harder thing to do, the most intentional thing to do for me to have integrity is to get right with me and to make sure that I'm doing my healing and that I'm showing up as the most highest aligned, highest vibrating version of myself. And I have seen things mirrored on the global scale, on the national scale, and in my home. It's like the same trends are happening. I can see the themes. So I'm like, to the extent that I can work through this and heal this in my own life, I believe it will be mirrored in the macro. So I believe very much in the micro. And so you can feel like while you're working on the micro, while you're working on yourself, that you don't have a community around you. But the more you work on that union with yourself, the more you are creating the frequency of union. And that union will start to show up. And you're really planting the seeds here for this beautiful union energy to grow. And the more you trust yourself, and the more you show up for yourself, and the more you are connected in with spirit in a way that's just so undeniable, that you feel just so sure in the steps you're taking, then all the seeds you plant are ones of connection, union, highest timeline. It's like we're planting a new earth, right? We're planting the trees that are going to be on new earth, and they're going to look completely different, right? And we have a lot of options. We have so much information coming into us on a daily basis of what we should focus our time on. And look, this is like, oh, there's all these different ways I can go. Not really. There's one way that you can go, which is tapping in to get that sense of union within yourself. And it starts within yourself. I know it's easier. It's easier to just say, if they would do this, or if my neighbors would care, it starts with like, how are you giving yourself everything that you would want a community to give you, and getting that sense of union, and then having that show up in your world. Those are the seeds you're planting now. Give me some more clarity here. Okay. All right. I really feel like this message is about the choices that you're making. And the choice right now that we're being called to make, if we want to create this community feel with the hopscotch and the safety and the neighbors, we have choices, and every choice is a duality. And I really see that it's like between the devil and between the high priestess. Okay, so this is like spiritually aligned, divine connection, raising the frequency, raising the vibration, channeling the divine. And this is all the earthly things that we think matter. They feel really big. They're all our old patterning. Their reactions, their anger, their wounding, their codependency, addiction, all of those things. And in every choice, every moment we bring to this life, we can come from a place of wounding or old patterning or our new highest self. Okay? And that's how we're going to get clarity on the Seven of Cups. This is how we're going to create that beautiful new earth. We plant the seeds by making the decision that's aligned with our highest self and divinity. Okay? And as you do that, you'll see more opportunities, new opportunities come in. Maybe you've been granted a new opportunity that you think is most aligned with this new you, this new timeline, this new earth, and lets you let go of this. Maybe this devil is saying you can't do that. Don't take that new opportunity. But. So if you have a new opportunity that you think may be aligned, Spirit's saying, choose what one is directly related to what Source is telling you. The Lovers is a decision to make, but in the traditional tarot, the Lovers, the man is looking at the woman and the woman's looking at Spirit. So it's like the mankind is looking at you. They are saying, what are you going to choose? And the woman is looking towards spirit and the divine and saying, all of my decisions, all of my choices are going to be led by my connection to spirit. And this is what brings balance to the world. That's what goes down with the devil, up with the high priestess, the birthing of new earth. Okay? So in every moment, you have a choice to choose that safe, loving community where everybody cares about each other. And yes, you can get angry and you can sit at your house and be a online warrior and be like, they should do this and they should do that, and people should care more, and people should slow down when there's kids in the road, and our neighborhood's gone to shit. Or you can live in the frequency of that community that you want and not be sucked into the chaos of today. Even if you think you're advocating, I've thought a lot about this, like standing your ground and advocating for yourself. And I think that there is definitely a place in this world for activists and for advocates. And if you're divinely led to be an activist or an advocate, but don't be an activist or an advocate who's only pointing the finger out, who has a pitchfork and torches and wants to burn the system down without looking into their own system and saying, how am I perpetuating this? If we don't want a bunch of anger, if we don't want a bunch of polarity, then are we coming to this at a place of balance and peace? Let's make sure that in the name of peace, we are not kind of being the same thing that we don't like, kind of being the same thing that we said isn't right? And we know you've been through a lot. So Spirit's saying, this was the way you've always done things. You've had to go through so much that you may have had to choose addiction, protective patterns, codependency to survive. To survive this life so far, you may have had to choose survival mechanisms just to get through. But in your new day, in your new earth, in your new timeline where we're all feeling that sense of community, that reciprocity, that peace, that safety, that belonging, when we lay down at night, there's no we don't have to feel this. All of us just don't want to have to feel so friggin' guarded. We don't want to worry that we let our kids out of the house and that they're something bad could happen. The world has taught us that we need to be guarded. But there is the possibility of new earth. We are headed here, and how you bring the balance and make sure that we head towards that new earth is staying super connected and making all of your decisions based on love and the connection to the divine. This is how you make all your decisions. And this is a moment by moment thing. This is going so inward and making a whole inventory of yourself, your reactions, your responses. Forget everything that you think needs to change in the world. Forget it all. It all starts with you. It all starts with your connection, your choices, how you show up to your community, how you show up to your life, what energy you're passing around, what beliefs you have about yourself, beliefs you have about money, beliefs you have about love, beliefs you have about your community, okay? So get tapped into spirit, and it's always okay to ask, how do I bring forth new earth? How do I bring forth this? Because I want to be this, but this is how I feel. I feel like I need to protect myself. And I get the 9 of Pentacles. This is a very independent and confident card. Okay, so this is more about your journey. If there are people in your life that you feel like are anything that you're like, if this would just change, if my job would just change, if my boss would just change, if my husband would just change, if the politicians would just change, if my dad would just change, if the school system would just change, if people would understand about nutrition, like whatever it is, like we have these things we get stuck on that, like, if this just changed, oh, we'd be fine. I have lived through this experiment. Trust me, you're not. You're the exact same person and you choose a new thing to be upset about. This is you on a very independent inward journey. This is not you with anyone else. This is pointing the finger back at you. How do you find peace with the current world? And even though this is what your world may feel like, or you've fallen victim to, or you've let yourself get wrapped up in, or your wounding has caused you to engage in a lot of patterns that are protective, because pointing the finger at everybody else and saying, when they change, if this changes, I will be, we can't give our power away like that anymore. Your boss, your wife, your whatever, your city, your town, your government, if they are in control of your happiness, I'm telling you that it's just a game. It's a cycle that you can always just say, I'm giving my power away to you, and you are meant to make me feel good. And when you make me feel bad, which is usually what happens, I get to blame somebody. Okay? No, we're not doing that anymore. This is a completely independent journey for you to say, how am I showing up to all these aspects of my life? Where are the patterns? Where's my role in this dynamic? Where's my role in the government? Where's my role in my work? Where's my role in my family? Where's my role in my community? How do I show up as this beautiful connected person of New Earth? How do I bring New Earth to today so that we can start turning towards the balance we need? And this is all about real personal accountability here. This is about your personal micro journey here so that we can start seeing things on a macro level. But it starts with you. It starts with going inward and being that high priestess that knows better, knows and believes in the possibility and beauty and ascension of Earth. Believe in Earth's ability, okay? And you will be offered things that make you feel loved and appreciated and valued and heard, okay? This is the Knight of Cups coming in with a love offering. So as you tap in and as you stop pointing the finger, but you bring yourself back to your own healing and how you show up to this, you'll figure out how to give yourself everything you need. And then when you figure out how to give yourself everything you need, then you can give on to others. And I know that this is like a really long way to get to a nice community, but it all starts with us. So that the community is on you. It's on you. The community is on you. How are you participating? How are you showing up? How did you, if you're in a community that you don't think is supportive, or you don't like things that are going on in the world, or you don't like how we feel, or you don't, and you want your 10 of Cups, this is like the best community card. This is like a, well, it's a card of marriage, a card of legacy, a card of happily ever after. This is that safe family playing, and you just feeling like so filled with love and belonging and fulfillment. Okay, so how we get here is acknowledging that you have created your reality. So if you are sitting right now in a community that you don't like, something got you there. It is a mirror for what's going on inside of you. It's a mirror for things that you need to heal from, that you need to connect back with spirit. There's old wounding and old patterns that you're still running that's making you feel like this community might screw me over. This community doesn't care about me. And when you go in and you do that healing, and if you're like, I've done so much healing, Spirit's saying, just connect in, just spend some time with me. Spend as much time with me as you spend looking at the news or bitching about your job or bitching about your relationships. Spend just as much time with me, and I will show you how to let go of these beliefs so that you can manifest this, and not just for you, for everyone, for New Earth. Okay, that's the message. We all want this beautiful community to live in, but we all need to take personal accountability to bring that new community in. New Earth is dying for it. They are done with us fighting. They are done with us not being happy and complaining and being Karens and always bitching about something. And they don't love that we're all walking around wounded and addicted and spiteful and reactive, right? So what's beautiful and the good news about this is that the only thing you need to do is get connected, tap into spirit as much as you possibly can so that you can bring in New Earth in this beautiful community for all. All right, the lighthouse can show you the shore, but you still need to steer the ship. Please like, share, subscribe, share this message with anyone that you think it would be helpful for, and until next message.